Hello, welcome to my videos and my blog. In this time, I'm going to talk about the Pittsburgh Steelers victory today, 30-23, against the Seattle Seahawks in the week 17. With this victory, the Steelers won his ninth victory of the season. And the Steelers, there is have still possibilities to enter to the playoffs if they win the next week, and they make some combination. But let's see. Let's talk about later about this game. With this victory also, Mike Tomlin got another season with not losing record because he has coached 70 years the Steelers, and in all the 70 in all the seasons he hasn't had losing records. This is amazing, but in the end, the most important is to win in playoffs and Super Bowls, and he has just won one. So let's talk about this game. The Steelers again play a tremendous game. I didn't expect that the Steelers win this game because remember that Seattle in this moment the Seattle and the Steelers have the same maybe football level, and there is always complicated to go to the West Coast and win a game, especially in Seattle. That the Seahawks are a very difficult, a hard toe team, and always is difficult to play in this stadium. But the Steelers did enough to win this game and to have still possibilities in the last week of the season. In the first half is when there was more emotion, where the Steelers played a tremendous game, especially against Mason Rudolph, that he did enough to keep the possibility the Steelers alive, and the running game was tremendous. Where in the first half they had more than 200 yards by running game, and they made 145 of these yards in the halftime. And the Steelers for since the 2020, the Steelers scored more than 30 points, and this was amazing. In the first quarter, in the first half, the Steelers started to winning the game. They were leading 7-0 in the end of the first quarter, but in the second quarter, the Seattle Seahawks scored two touchdowns, and they took the lead of the game. They were leading 14-7, but after that, the Steelers scored another 10 points, one field goal and one touchdown, and the Steelers were leading the game 17-14 in the whole time. In the third quarter, there was less points, but in the end, the Steelers did enough to win the game. The Seattle Seahawks scored a field goal, and they tied the game. But the Steelers scored a touchdown in the third quarter, and in the third quarter, the Steelers were leading by 7 point difference, 24-17. And in the fourth quarter, there were any touchdown score. There was just each team score a field goal, two field goal each one, and in the end, the Steelers did enough to win the game 30-21. And especially in the second half, the defense played a tremendous game where they didn't allow any touchdown, and the Steelers did enough to win the game 30-23. In the general statistics, the Steelers made 168 total yards, 266 by running. By run, they play a tremendous game in the running game because the three touchdowns that the Steelers scored were by this via three running touchdowns. They made 266 and 145 in the whole time, and 202 by pass. And the Steelers, the defense. The Steelers did Mason Rudolph didn't score any touchdown, but he did something important. He didn't lose the ball. He didn't make any fumble nor interception. And something important here is that now the Steelers defense didn't make any impact play, like to make a fumble or make an interception. But something important was that in the last quarter, Highsmith made make a sack, that this provoke a fumble, and this made that the Steelers later the offense score a field goal to increase the lead to 10 points, and this was enough to win the game. And in the statistics, How I told you, Mason Rudolph was the quarterback. He threw for 274 yards. He didn't score any touchdown, but he didn't make any mistake, and this was important. And how I told you, the running back were the heroes of this game. Were Najee Harris. I think that he had his best game in the since he has played in the Steelers, where he had 27 as 10. He made 122 yards and he scored 2 touchdowns in Jalen Weaver that he had 13 sorry, he items. He made 75 yards and he scored 1 touchdown. And the wide receiver George Pickens, he had another tremendous game with 7 receptions and 132 total yards. He didn't score any touchdown, but he was very important because he made some very great impact plays. In the defense, how I told you, they didn't make any impact play, but the most important here was where the sacks that Nick Herbie made, that this provoked the fumble, and later the offense scored one field goal that provoked a 10-point lead, and in the end, like, the Steelers won this game. And in the special team, our kicker Chris Bowell had war where he had 3 field goals. He scored all of them. He did his job. So with this victory, the Steelers at this moment are in the third place in the AFC North with a record of 9-7. Ravens and Browns qualified to the playoffs. This qualify clinch spot and playoffs, and the Bengals are eliminated. How I told you, the Steelers will play the next week against the Ravens. Remember that these two teams play in the week 5. Yes, in the week 5. Remember that the Steelers they won that game 70-10 against Baltimore, where Baltimore really dominated the Steelers, but the Steelers did enough to win this game. Here the big factor was the defense. They didn't allow that the Baltimore Ravens took the big advantage, and the Steelers won this game in the last quarter. Now the good news is that the Baltimore Ravens today defeated and humiliated the Miami Dolphins 56-19, and with this victory they clinched the number 1 set in the AFC. So the most probably is that they won't play with any K star in the last game. So the Steelers will have maybe an easy game. How you can see, the Ravens won't play for anything. So the Steelers at this moment are in the bubble, are in the 9th place. So the Steelers need to win and defeat the Ravens. That this is the most probably is gonna to happen. And we saw score. I think that the Steelers. What happened here? The Steelers need that the Bills lose the last week. I think they will play against the Miami Dolphins, but this will be a very great game because the Miami Dolphins need to win to clinch the number 1 set in the AFC conference and win the AFC North. And the good news is that the Colts and the Texans will face both of these teams. Well, there is no good news because the problem here is that the Steelers need that both teams lost. The problem is that they can lose. So the score that the Steelers need to happen here is a tie. So I think that if the Bills lose the next week and the Colts and the Texans tie and the Steelers win, the Steelers will qualify to the playoffs. It looks complicated because it's very difficult to have a tie and the Bills lost, but let's see what happens. So my prediction about the last game is that the Steelers will win that game by 3 or 7 point difference, but I think that the Steelers won't make the playoffs because they won't happen the combinations that the Steelers need, but let's see. So here's one more opinion about what happened today, where the Steelers defeated 30-23 against the Seattle Seahawks. The Steelers won the 9 win of the victory of the season. With this victory, the Steelers have still possibilities to make the playoffs. It looks complicated because in this moment, according to the AI, I think so, they have used 28% to qualify to the playoffs. With this victory, it's the first time that the Steelers defeated the Seattle Seahawks and Seattle after 40 years. I think so. And with this victory, the Mike Tomlin will finish another week with a no losing record in his 17 years that he has coached the Steelers. He hasn't had any no losing record. So see you next video, Gibran.